So I wanted to talk to you about, you know, as the title suggests, the Terminator, the Mach 1, and my current 2016 Mustang GT. If you're curious, why am I driving a 2016 Mustang GT? I'm gonna leave a link right here so you can watch why did I sell my 23 Mach 1 to get a 2016 Mustang GT. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump right into the 03 Cobra. You know, what I think are the perks of the 03 Cobra, the positives. First of all, the 03 Cobra, besides being an iconic car, because of the history, I think a lot of people think that the Terminator Cobra is iconic within the past, you know, 5 to 6 years. And actually, if you've known about the car from 03 when it came out, you could pretty much tell instantly that it was going to be an icon, just because it was the first supercharged Mustang. It was the first main production Mustang with a 6-speed transmission, the first Tremec Mustang. It had an independent rear suspension, like a lot of the 99s, 01s also had a independent rear suspension, but this was the total package back in 03. The fact that it had a forged motor at that time, the fact that you can make 500 horsepower relatively easy with just a pulley and a tune swap, it was just revolutionary at that time. And you know, it's no surprise to me, at least, that it has become such a iconic car in the Mustang history. So the first thing that I will say about the 03 Cobra, you know, the first positive, it's gonna be, you know, how rare it is. They only built it for 2 years. I believe the production numbers are somewhere around 19,000 Cobras between 03 and 04. So very limited production car, you know, in terms of Mustang's production. You barely see those cars on the road. It's just, you know, unless you go to a show or something, it's the only time that you're gonna see that car. Another positive about the Terminator is that it's factory supercharged. So like I was saying, it's so easy to make power, right? Even today, that car will make 500 wheel horsepower, you know, with a few bolt-ons. And you know, if you pour the blower, my Cobra made 533 wheel horsepower. You know, that's really strong numbers, super fast numbers for back in 03, and really good for, you know, all the muscle cars in today's world, because, you know, competes very well with the Coyotes, Alice NA, Challenger, Camaros, all of that. It's really, really good power even today. And the fact that you could, you know, get a head unit, which is just a blower itself, and swap it, and with a dual fuel system, E85, you can make 700, 800 wheel horsepower with that car. And it's just, you know, again, you know, really, really good, because, you know, thanks to, again, another positive is the forged rotation assembly. You know, it has crankshaft that is fully forged, good for more than 1,000 horsepower. It has manly rods, which is a huge deal back in 03, and, you know, forged pistons. It's just the motor is just bulletproof, right? You could throw all the boost that you want, and, you know, make a lot of power. You know, obviously another positive is, this one is a little bit subjective. You know, it comes down to your personal opinion, but just looks. I think the Terminator look, it's iconic. You know, it looks pissed off, and it looks modern enough. Even, you know, 20 years after the car came out, it still looks modern enough, in my opinion. This just looks badass. And now we talked about the positive. I want to talk to you guys about the negative, because I don't want to make this video super long or get into a review of each car, just positive and negatives. One of the things that is gonna be a negative aspect on most Terminators is the reliability. Those cars unfortunately don't even have the original motor, because a lot of the owners blew them up by just, you know, abuse. And another negative, in my opinion, and a lot of people are gonna say that this is a positive, but it's just, in my opinion, it was a negative. It's just the refinement, because that car was based on a Fox body. It's really the 04 Mustang is the last Fox body based Mustang. You know, the refining, everything in that cabin rattles. It's very mechanical feeling inside the transmission. Even on a brand new 03 Cobra, makes a ton of mechanical noise. And again, I know a lot of people love that, and I'm not saying it's a good or negative thing. I don't mind really much the transmission noise, but just everything, all the drivetrain noise, the rattles, the plastics. My car had 40,000 miles, and it rattled worse than my dad's 300,000 mile F250. 300,000 miles, and my Cobra had 40,000 miles. Another negative of that car is the heat soak. Those cars, especially the stock blower, you know, that you make a pull and it feels great, you make another pull, doesn't feel as great, you make a third pull, and it really starts to pull power, just because the stock blower just gets hot. Now, who would I recommend this car to? I would definitely recommend this car to someone that understands what a Terminator is, someone that appreciates it, someone that is mechanically inclined, knows that, meaning that they know how to work on cars, because otherwise you're gonna, most likely throughout your ownership, you're gonna be spending a lot of time on shops, especially if you buy a 100,000 mile Cobra. Plus, now I know there's gonna people that are gonna say, oh, I had my 03 Cobra, it has X amount of miles, never gave me an issue. Good for you. Most people, that's not gonna be the case. My car had 40,000 miles. Valve seals were, you know, needed to be replaced, which actually takes its motor work, and it had a huge oil leak on it. So again, not the car's fault, it's just the time and the year that we're in. All right, guys, so let's just move to the Mach 1. So I bought my 2023 Mach 1, want to say April or May of 2023, and I love that car. You know, it was my first brand new Mustang. Wait, I gotta overtake this. And sorry, I had to overtake a dump truck. The first positive about, or perk about owning a Mach 1 is just the, you know, you're driving a limited production car. You know, obviously it's almost a brand new car at this point, even if you buy a used. Mechanically, it's very sound because it has a Gen 3 Coyote, which is being proven to be a very reliable motor. It comes with a GT350 intake manifold, colder intake, so it makes really good power off the factory. We're talking about almost 500 horsepower, 480 horsepower, bone stock. It has oil coolers and rear diff cooler from the GT500, also the subframes from the Shelby GT500. You could keep up with the Shelby GT350R, especially if you get the handling package Mach 1, which I didn't have. And you know, you get on that car, it's really cool because you got the Tremec, you know, you can beat on it. It's gonna be more reliable than the MT82, obviously. It has rev matching, downshift, and it's just a phenomenal driving experience. You know, you got the Magna ride too, which you can make the car, you know, when you're going over bumps, make it stiff or make it, you know, you could tailor the suspension to your driving environment and your driving needs at that time. What else? You know, you have active exhaust on the Mach 1, which is really cool. You can make it quiet, loud, you know, you could make it however loud you want. It really sounds good. It was uniquely tuned for the Mach 1, the exhaust. So those are the positive for the Mach 1. The only negative that I will say about the Mach 1 right now is that it's just the pricing. You know, it's a little bit expensive, even on the used market, looking at over $50,000. But compared to everything that's out there right now, it's really not that bad. A brand new 24 Mustang is gonna run you right around, you know, that type of money. Another negative about the Mach 1 is that, you know, if you modify that car, pretty much you're depreciating the car even more. Those cars do hold their value better when they're stock than when they're not. So alright guys, so who would I recommend the Mach 1 to? And the answer is very simple. I would recommend that car pretty much to anyone that enjoys a really good handling car, really good transmission. Someone that, you know, obviously could afford the car. It's a terrific car. If you want to go automatic, you could on the Mach 1. You couldn't do that with the Shelby 350. So if you prefer a 10-speed automatic, that is an option. So it's gonna bring me on to my current car. So let's talk about the positive of the 2016 Mustang GT. Okay, the first thing, you know, that really, you know, attracted me to this car is just the motor. The Gen 2, it's kind of an iconic motor to this point. So it has a built Batman, you know, capable of holding up to 1,000 horsepower, easy to tune, easy to find chops, the ability to run E85 on the stock. Even the stock injectors, if you keep the stock intake manifold, the fact that, you know, the prices are so much affordable compared to everything out there for what you get. You get the S550 chassis, which is really good. You get obviously the Gen 2 Coyote. You know, this motor is capable of revving up to 8,000 RPMs if you actually throw boost at it, and you know, it's just a solid motor. The pricing, it's tremendous. It's really affordable. You could get this cars for the low 20s all day. So, you know, with not a ton of miles, I don't think these cars, you know, are really gonna depreciate all that much from this point on. Obviously, you know, if you start putting a ton of miles and modifications and, you know, accidents and all that, obviously they could. But if you have a relative low mileage Coyote Gen 2 with no accident history, none of that, it's really gonna hold its value really well. To me, another perk is just the fact that this car, you know, has so many aftermarket parts, and obviously you can make the argument that for any Mustang, but especially, you know, the Coyotes, they have so much. Like, if you want to make them into a NA monster, you could. If you want to throw boost, they love boost. It's just, you know, the aftermarket is so big, and really you're not gonna really hurt the value of the car as long as you get this car for a good deal. Now I want to talk about the negative of this car. It's just, main thing is just the MT82. But believe it or not, it's not as bad as the ones on 2018 Plus. Now let me articulate on that. This transmission, guys have gone really fast with this stock MT82s. The only upgrade that you really need is a short shifter and a clutch. You could really push a stock unit to low 10s. I've even heard guys going 9s, high 9s. But, you know, they take boost well. You obviously run the risk of blowing the transmission. Another weak point about this car is that weak IRS, especially as you start making power. The IRS, independent rear suspension, does create a lot of wheel hop, and I guess you could say that about the Mach 1 and the Terminator as well. But especially Gen 2 seems to have a problem braking axles from what I've seen online. But that's it. You know, I will definitely recommend this car to someone that's looking as a great platform to build and to modify. Also a car that's not gonna necessarily break the bank, and offers you the best bang for your buck is the Gen 2 Coyote. I mean, NA, you can make 450, 460, really with really simple bolt-ons. And if you throw boost, sky's the limit as how much power you want to throw at this thing. And that's it. I recommend this car to the person that's gonna be, monetarily conscious, but not necessarily in a way that it allows you to do more with less. And I personally love the decision that I made with the Gen 2 Coyote. I love the way this car looks. I think Ford was smart when they did the GT350 and GT500. They kept the Gen 2 front end headlights, and I think it's the best look for this generation Mustang. And also, it was the first vision that they had when they created the S550. Not saying that the Gen 3 looks bad. I just prefer the front end of this car a little bit better. Gen 3, not comparing Gen 2 and Gen 3, which that, by the way, it should be a good video. Interior is better on the Gen 3, I'll give you that. But not by a lot, but it's a little bit nicer. The Gen 3, the touch points and the updates that they did definitely make the interior feel a little bit better, especially the Mach 1 compared to this car. So, all right, guys, that is going to do it. I do want to apologize if this video ended up being a little bit longer than I intended to. Just want to cover the main points and the positives and negatives of the Mach 1, Terminator, and Gen 2. Now, if you want to ask which one is my favorite, I will have to say, honestly speaking, probably the one that has meant the most to me so far is my Terminator. Just because how much I love that car, how many years I wanted that car. Now, do I regret selling it and getting the Mach 1? No, because of the issues that car had, and that car had to go in order for me to get to where I'm at today. And I'm totally fine with the 16 GT. If you want to ask me what is the best Mustang that I ever owned, I'll say the Mach 1 is the best Mustang that I ever owned, because it did everything so well. But which one is the one that I'm most excited by the future? Is this one. This one I feel like I could make it my own, and this one it's right there with those other cars. Obviously, compared to the Terminator, this is a way more comfortable car. I feel like it makes similar power. Obviously, this is a stock car, a stock Mustang, which I'm going to be addressing very, very soon. So you might want to stay tuned to see the power upgrades that I got for this car. Already, I have some things on my garage for this car power-wise. I'm just really excited because my plan with this car is to throw boost at it, and I think it's gonna make some phenomenal power. So all right, guys, this is gonna do it for today's video. Little bit of my experience. Hopefully it'll help you out a little bit if you're in the market for one of these cars, what to actually expect from them as someone that has owned them for at least 1 year. The Terminator I did own for 3 years, Mach 1 for about a year, and then this one it's gonna be a few months. But I could give you my honest perspective, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat things and just tell you straight like they are. And I hope that you guys do appreciate that take. And all right, guys, this is gonna do it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I am gonna do my best to get more uploads into the channel. You guys deserve that. We recently crossed 5,000 subs, and I really, really do appreciate you guys, and I do appreciate all those people that had clicked the subscribe button, and that that gives me hope for the channel, and that makes me feel like we're doing something here, and I really want to continue that, and I really want to bring you guys content, and take you along for the ride of whatever this thing might take us, and this build and other Mustangs that I have lined up coming for this channel. If you have any recommendations of videos that you would like me to do, leave them down in the comment section down below. Please let me know if you want to know something about this car, or if there's another topic that you want me to talk about, and I will consider for a future upload. All right, guys, take care. See you. I'll see you on the next one.